So today you're going to learn how to create an email that triggers the buy button in your customer's brain. Let's make it happen. Hey everyone, my name is Eric and welcome to Gen Monster. On this channel, you'll learn how to generate sales while becoming the best version of your creative self. Now recently, I've been rereading a book that I love called Neuromarketing, Understanding the Buy Buttons in Your Customer's Brain by Patrick Renvoise and Christophe Morin. And in this book, they talk about 6 stimuli that always trigger a response. Now, in conjunction with that, I've also been getting tons of email because of my Instagram business account that basically say how few friends I have, and they want to help me get more friends. Thanks, Grandma. So I thought it would be fun to critique one of the emails that I received that was almost there and making it stronger, utilizing the methodology in this book about the 6 stimuli that trigger a response in your customer so that we can make it a Superman email strong thingy, a super awesome email strong thing. We can make it great. So before we read that email and pick it apart, let's go over the 6 stimuli really quickly. Stimuli number 1 is self-centered. This means that your customer is very focused on themselves, and you should be too. So talk about them as much as you can and talk about you as little as you can. Stimuli 2, contrast. These are things like before and after, risky, safe, day, night, or the most extreme one, life, death. These high contrast situations make it really easy for your customer to pick one. So it is up to you to create a scenario for your customer where they pick your side of that high contrast. Stimuli 3, tangible input. This basically means to use simple language so that it is easy for your customer to understand what you're trying to tell them. Stimuli number 4, beginning and the end. Now, when you're opening up an email, pay attention to what you do. Typically, you'll catch yourself looking at the beginning of that email and looking at the bottom, and then deciding whether or not you want to read more. So the idea is to make the beginning of your email super strong and the end really strong as well. Nice opening and a solid closing, and then that middle is where your customer will go if they liked what they see. Stimuli number 5, visual stimuli. So visual stimuli means that your customer responds very well to images. So when you can, use images to portray your message so that it's easy to grasp. And stimuli number 6, emotion. As humans, we are emotional beings, so try to make messaging that pulls the heartstrings before it starts talking to this guy. Don't stay away from him. Pluck the heartstrings. So now that you know the 6 stimuli that trigger a response in your customer, let's take a look at that email I was talking about earlier and fix it up really good so it looks nice and fancy. So here we have the email that I received, and let's start with the subject line. It goes, "Hey Gen Monster 365, love your Instagram. Hi, I really like the content on your Instagram. It looks like you put tons of work into your posts. It is incredibly difficult to grow on Instagram these days. There is too much competition for followers and content now with the new feed algorithm. I recently started to help people like you grow their audience. I believe it is really important to build a social media presence. Want free help growing your following? You can find more information on our website here. Best, Doris from Instagramma." Okay, so my initial reaction on this email is that it's pretty good, but there are some great things that we could do to it to kick it up to the next level using the 6 stimuli in the neuromarketing book. So let's start with stimuli number 1, which is self-centered. Now the subject here actually does follow that. It says, "Hey Gen Monster 365, love your Instagram." I feel like it would be safe to keep it because it actually was the reason I clicked on it initially, but then it gets a little generic. It says, "Hi, You could tell that this is just a pulled email list from Instagram, and they're able to pull this name and then my email. So there was no real research in that. And that's really the difference for me between a sales email and spam. A sales email means that you're invested in your customer, but this spammy marketing email means that you're just phishing. So let's show that we're invested in them and say, hi, Eric, because that's my name. It's kind of weird. I'm making an email to sell to myself, but I really like the content on your Instagram. It looks like you put tons of work into your posts. So this is a pretty cool intro, but again, you can tell that it's generic. So let's beef this up. And we're going to eliminate I when we can. So let's say something like, it is apparent that you put tons of time into your Instagram feed. Your content is great. Notice I'm eliminating the I's from that and saying you when I can and trying to avoid I. Your content is great, comma. I'm adding a comma because I want to do something even more special. So let's go to that Instagram feed, which is mine, and we'll find a post here. So we could say, let's find this one about relationships coming first, and we'll grab this link. So the reason I did that is because I want to actually call out a post so that it's very easy to see that I did the research and am invested in this customer. So let's say especially the post about relationships coming first. And we'll actually make a link here so that when you click it, it goes to that post. Now there are some I's that are in here, especially here and here, that we can eliminate. But let's just keep this in mind as we go along. And number 2 is contrast. And remember, that's that day and night scenario. This email does attempt this. It says the problem solution, but to me, it's not very strong. We really need to get to the bottom of what the customer's problem is. So when you're talking about competition for followers, you're really not talking about followers at all. You're talking about leads or potential customers for a business. Followers are, the very tip top of that list as they cycle down the funnel and become customers. Let's talk about followers, but also relate them to customers. So let's do this as the problem and say something along the lines of, each one of your followers has the potential to grow into a customer for your business. With the new feed algorithm, if I can spell, it can be hard to gain the followers. You need to rise above your competition. And we're really spelling it out. Followers mean customers. And the problem that this person posed was that this new feed algorithm gets in the way between that. So let's talk about the solution now. I recently started to help people like you grow their audience. I believe it is really important to build a social media presence. That doesn't really get to the solution, to be honest. It's a lot of I statements. Up here is a conflict and there is no solutions. Let's change this. What I like to say is, imagine your business with more customers coming from Instagram with less time invested. The reason I bring time into it is because 2 big factors that a lot of people relate to is time and money. This is saying you can get more money with less time, but without saying it directly. And actually, each one of your followers. Wow, Eric, read. So let's go to tangible input. Tangible input is making it easy to digest. No big words. I'm not seeing anything big in this email as far as hard to understand. They did a great job. If In fact, if anything, I'm probably making it a little more complicated to read, but it's truly coming from my voice. So let's go to the beginning and the end. So the beginning and the end means that the first thing that your customer reads is this, and then the last thing they read is this. So right now it's saying, okay, it's apparent that you put a lot of time in your Instagram feed. Your content is great. Right now it just sounds like the customer is being schmoozed a little bit, and then they're like, okay, what do you want? You can find more information on our website here. Oh, so you want something from me. You're trying to sell me something. Let's change this up a little bit because, I think that introduction is great, but want free help growing your following may not be strong enough, and also relying on a website to do the selling for you, it could be a bit of a risk. And I would say let's create a fake webinar here. So click here to join Instagram in a 30-minute webinar. I always say that you need to say how much time something is and how much time they're going to invest for their outcome. 30-minute webinar, if there's a lot of value in it, isn't that long of a time. And learn how you can get more customers from Instagram. And actually, let's say from your Instagram page. Boom, make a little hyperlink website. Yay. To join Instagram in a 30-minute webinar and learn how you can get more customers from your Instagram page. Okay, so you like my Instagram page. How do I get more customers? I feel like you would want to go back in the middle here. So that goes to stimuli number 5, which is visual stimuli. So visuals can sometimes be hard to add to an email. What I suggest is if you are going to use images, to make sure that the image adds to the email, but you don't need that image. So if it doesn't load or isn't visible, the customer can still get the message. So what I'm thinking is I made a little image here in Photoshop that does some before and after, which is that contrast, so that the customer can really see the difference from now, which is 101 followers. Working with this company, they could get something like 14.1K followers. And look, there's like a little red dot there, meaning they maybe got more likes and more engagement. It's really subtle, but it portrays the message so that the customer can see it visually. But without it, they can still get the message. And number 6 is emotion. Emotion, honestly, a lot of it is already in here from writing, but let's just do a quick read through to make sure there's plenty of emotion in this email. Hi, Eric. It is apparent that you put tons of time into your Instagram feed. Your content is great, especially the post about relationships coming first. Each one of your followers has the potential to grow into a customer for your business. With the new feed algorithm, it can be hard to gain followers you need to rise above your competition. Imagine your business with more customers coming from Instagram with less time invested. Go from this to this. Click here to join Instagram in a 30-minute webinar and learn how you can get more customers, proofread, from your Instagram page. Best, Doris from Instagram. You know what, Doris? I understand the emotional value that's coming from this. These changes that we made make it much stronger, and we went from this to this.
And there we have it, an awesome email that uses the 6 stimuli that always trigger a response in your customer's brain. Now, if you like this episode, please be sure to give me some thumbs up love, subscribe to my channel, and hit the little bell thingy to be notified when I drop a new episode. Also, I'll link you to a video up here somewhere that talks about 5 tips to creating a great email template that you can use over and over again. Until next week, have a great one.